Spokes and Anovia Wheels podcast. I'm Gels.
I'm Sam.
Sam, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about
there's a whiteboard
to
now.
drift. Yeah, we changed it up. We're getting
Where's my
better.
piece of
No more scripts. We're going off the cuff because
that's
we need to rant more. That's what we were told.
Is that what the ratings are saying?
Rotten Tomatoes said that we need to rant more. They said we're certified fresh. We can buy Uber Fresh if we rant more.
The Rotten Tomatoes said that?
The Rotten Tomatoes.
Damn, that's crazy.
Mr. Tomatoes himself.
Dang. Well, we're back with episode 7. I'm excited. Sam, how's it going?
It's going great. I worked on my car. So I don't know when you're listening to this, but it's been really cold here. Like really cold.
The thing was it was really warm like 2 days ago.
Yeah, so that's when I worked on my car.
Yeah.
And I was out in the garage. To people in the South, they're gonna just be like, I don't care. But
it's warm down here. Yeah, it was cold down here too. It was like 60 degrees.
I was in jeans and a sweatshirt, working in my garage, and it felt so good. Yeah, it just felt so nice to get that stuff done and not have to like bundle up. And then, now it's cold again, and it's like raining ice right now.
What'd you do? What'd you do to the car?
I put my Nardi wheel on my 240, and I put my turn signal extension, which took about 5 minutes, but I'm gonna take credit for it.
Okay.
And my Broadway clip-on mirror. But no, what I actually really did was, this weekend I went and got a diff for the car too.
Oh yeah.
Drove down to Chicago. Got a
big diff guy.
Big diff guy. Is OS Geiken two-way, so I'm pretty stoked.
I've never heard
of
someone have a dream diff before.
Dude,
I'm glad you got your dream diff.
I wanted it so bad. So I achieved my dreams. It's downhill from here. But
oh no.
Yeah, so I got that Saturday, and then I've been trying to figure out like my tie rod situation on the 240 because I want as many threads engaged as possible to the outer tie rod. So I spent a lot more time on it and managed to get basically like 10 millimeters more engagement, which doesn't sound like much, but it probably would have been fine before, but I just don't want a tie rod to fail.
I think my 240 has like Maxima tie rods or something like that.
Yeah,
something
so
goofy.
That's actually what I was going to look at doing is measuring how long mine are right now, and seeing if there's just like an OEM version I can just buy, so I don't have to like, because I have the cut to length ones right now, so I cut all of them to like what I need them at, but it'd be nice to just have like, hey, here's a part number so I can go to like AutoZone if needed and just snag them.
That's nice.
Yeah. How about you? What'd you do this weekend?
I worked on the car a little bit. I raised up the front, so like the subframe of the car was like probably like half an inch off of the ground.
It was like a Star Wars like land speeder.
It was so like freaking low. Like I backed out of the other garage in my like gravel driveway, which is pretty flat.
Yeah.
Never had an issue with it before until I tried to drive that car on it, and I just like plowed. Like, it's like graded my driveway with it. I was like, oh my God. I actually got stuck. I had to go like push it off of the freaking mound that I made.
We joked about you trailing your car versus driving the car to the track, and I think you're going to have to drive it. Yeah. Because I don't think you're going to put it on any of the trailers we have here.
I mean, it's fine. It's just the middle part that hangs down really low.
Oh, just the low part that hangs down low?
No, but it's like...
makes sense.
Yeah. No, so I raised it up a little bit. Seemed to help. What really got me is I got a new bumper for it. Didn't come with a bumper.
You got the Expando bumper.
Yeah, the freaking like Shrinky Dinks bumper.
Yeah.
You like grow.
It's a KBD bumper.
Yeah, it's a KBD bumper. It's really cool. I like it. And I like got it all, unfolded and stuff, and it expanded to where it should be. And I went to like kind of mock it up, and like the car sat like an inch below. Like the bumper was on the ground, and like the top of the car was still
so funny
underneath the top of the bumper. And I was like, I need
to raise this up.
That's not right.
Yeah.
Like that explains why there was no bumper on it.
Those are cool bumpers.
It's coming together. I dig it. I work on the car. That's super easy to work on.
Dude, 240s are so easy.
Yeah.
Like everything's so simple.
I was like, damn, this was like super easy to.
Are you gonna get a new steering wheel for your car?
I'd like to, because it's got like a 350Z steering wheel.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of...
But like it doesn't have like the airbag center in it, so it looks super weird.
Well, yeah, if you like also let it go and your hand like catches the center part, that's gonna hurt really bad.
Thought of that. Thanks for throwing that image into my head.
Mm-hmm. That would suck. Yeah, so we got 240 stuff going on, which
240 guys.
Is good for today's topic.
Yeah, which is...
So you want to drift.
I want to drift. That's why I bought 240.
I know. So, Josh, how do you get started? How do you even? That's what Casey wrote on the board.
How do you even? So, how do you even? Because you're the guy.
Dude, I'm
following.
It's funny. I've actually like talked to a couple people. Like, all right, disclaimer: I am not the drift king.
No, you are DK. You are Donkey Kong.
No, I'm Donkey Kong. No, I'm not the drift king by any means. So take everything I say with grain of salt. but there are people.
You say it confidently. I follow everything you say. I'm like, this guy knows.
You need a hydro.
No,
You need a
no,
V8.
no.
No, so like there's people way better than me, so I'm not trying to say I'm like the end all be all, but I'm in a good stage from kind of like starting to like learning some of those things, and you can always get better, and there's always someone better out there, but I think I know enough to at least say like some of the do's and don'ts to get started. The funny thing, so I've had a couple people ask me like, oh, how do you start this? I was like, literally, you just go to an event. Like, this is like the weirdest concept, but like we live in this internet culture where it's like, oh, if I'm watching a video, I'm doing this. Like, you have to go there. Like, you have to do it. And like, there isn't any way around it. It's weird, but just like show up with whatever you have. Like, you don't, like, we can get into some other topics in this too, but like, you don't have to have this crazy built car. So like, before you started looking for your 240, what did you think that like you needed? Like, what did Gels think?
Before you knew
me?
Before you knew you, I thought you needed to like, if you wanted to drift, you needed something that was like, had a good amount of horsepower. You had to get like hydro was a must. Like you had to have a hydro. Like you had to like, go with some like crazy angle kit, like wide body, like the whole like, battle car look aspect was like super cool. Like,
I'm so
like the
happy
big like roll, like the big cage like outside and stuff. Like this is already like, kill somebody.
Like battle bots.
Yeah, they build their car like freaking BattleBots.
Did you watch BattleBots back in the day?
I freaking love.
I love that show too. Did you watch it on Tech TV?
Yeah.
I did too. Dude, I love that show, but every time I watched it, whenever the episode got done, there was like a 9 out of 10 chance that it sucked.
Yeah.
And like there's no carnage, but I was like the flamethrower BattleBots never worked.
I still love watching like just like the recaps and stuff on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Dude. All right, if you're out there building a BattleBot, in my opinion, the Hammerbot is the way to go.
Yeah.
Those always work.
And the ones that like flip.
The flippers, yeah. All right, BattleBot advice over. Back to drift cars.
I never understood the flame aspect. Like it's metal.
It was cool. Like it looked.
It looked cool, but it's like, what are you gonna sit next to it for 5 minutes while you try to melt it? Like I don't.
Okay, I thought of it this way: if you could like shoot like a napalm solution onto the other BattleBot, and it would like, you hopefully would like leak into like the innards and then ignite it with another like ignition source. I think that would do some damage.
I don't know, but I've never played BattleBots or like have been in this show, but like I would imagine napalm's probably on like the no-go list.
We're making killer robots. I don't feel like there's a no-go list. Although I guess there would be, because otherwise someone would just show up with like a shotgun tied to their BattleBot and just like blast.
Yeah.
Anywho, so you thought you needed a BattleBot to start with?
Yeah, no, like because like like that's what you saw. Like when like on social media, it's like it's like you need 1,000 horsepower. You need something with like some crazy like body kit on it, insane amount of angle, and just you go do the dang thing.
Yeah.
And it's like.
And you also need a trailer and a truck.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think I'm very fortunate where like I was exposed to like the drifting kind of around here right away, and I always like the Japanese style of stuff versus like the US style that we see a lot, which there's definitely different styles. That would be a fun podcast to talk about, actually, different drift styles. But like there's different styles and they're all good in their own aspect. But I was like more on the Japanese style because I was like, man, these guys drive their cars to the track. They drive them all day and they drive home, and they don't have trailers, and I didn't have the means to have a truck and a trailer and all of this stuff that's really expensive, and like it costs a ton and you have to maintain it. So to me, to get started, I was like, you just have to show up, and the easiest way to show up is with like race what you brung sort of thing. And all you really need is a car that has an engine in the front, it's a rear wheel drive, it has a limited slip differential, and a working handbrake and a manual.
Yeah.
I think those are like the main things. Like I would say if you're going to add on to that, coilovers is probably the other good thing. Everything in the car needs to work, it needs to be safe, but you don't need anything crazy.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, which isn't very long ago at all, I showed up with my IS300 on coilovers. It had a torsion diff out of an FRS, and then I think that's all it really had done to it for main mods. Like I think I had an aftermarket, the TRD front sway bar on it, but there wasn't like, I had no angle kit, a stock angle, no hydro. I just had a handbrake that I made sure worked really well. That's it. Yeah. And then I just drove the shit out of that car.
Sure.
And that's the thing is like, when you first start, you just show up, tell people you're an idiot. Like,
Be like, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows. They're like, all right, cool, stay clear, got it. No.
but you never see anyone on the internet be like, hey, I'm new.
Yeah.
Everyone's like an established, like,
yeah, it's like almost like a
something.
thing. It's like you're afraid to be like, oh, I'm the new guy. I'm just gonna kind of try to blend in here. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna like
I'm trying to be cool.
ask for help or anything because I know what I'm doing.
And people do that.
Yeah.
They'll show up and like don't ask for help. And like I'll go up to them like when I'm staffing and be like, hey, like have you tried this? And they'll be like, I'm the Drift King. I'm like, all right, like,
cool,
you're good. But no, it's just like be humble, have a good attitude. Just like I don't know what I'm doing. Everyone starts somewhere. Just ask for advice. It's the best community I've ever been a part of.
Yeah,
and people are willing to help.
I've even kind of gotten that too. Like it was my first time going up to Shawano this
Yep.
last summer. Going up there when we were doing stuff with Colin, and we would just kind of go up there and just kind of go hang out. Watch you drive, watch other people drive. And I remember when Anna went up there too. Like
Yep.
it's her first time. That was super cool. And the environment was like just super chill. Like everyone was there to like kind of help each other out. And I'm like, and that was really what like sold me on it. Because there's always been something that like, yeah, that'd be really cool to try one day. Like I really want to do that. Like that is like the motorsport that I think a lot of us, if we were to get into a motorsport, would do. Because you look at like the IMSA racing, you look at all that kind of stuff. That's big money.
Oh, yeah.
That is so expensive.
If you want to have
and
fun
it's
at
like,
Road
you gotta
America,
dedicate your entire friggin' life to it.
and that's a fast car.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
it's like, drift stuff looks cool. You can like do some really cool things.
It's very
with your car.
involved
Yeah.
as a driver.
It's like a style aspect
Yeah.
to it. And yeah, no, that's really what sold me was just like the community around it.
Yeah, that's the fun part, and that's what keeps me into it. Like obviously driving's like really fun, but it's the people you meet in the community in it and the progression. So like you're not gonna get to a spot. I've never talked to anyone like some people I know are like insane drivers,
Right.
and none of them are like I'm good.
I know everything.
Yeah, they're like I suck, and it's like the absolute like craziest mentality where like some time attack guys are like, oh, I'm like the fastest like Mustang with a 4.6 and this side of the Mississippi.
Yep.
Like, and it's like no, it's not. Everyone's like really humble about it, and that's the mentality you need to get. But like, there's so much progression. Like everything, there's progression, but. To me, there's like the immediate gratification with like progression that you can get as you can get into it, and you don't need like a ton of experience doing something.
Sure.
I'll say like if you were like looking for a car or something, you're like, man, I want to start. I don't know what to do, but you have an Xbox and you have Forza, like do that because like it's crazy.
Because you got your own kind of like sim setup at home.
It's really really basic.
I mean,
like everyone's like. You need the craziest for everything. I have a G25 and I use a Seto Corsa.
Yep.
And I had a monitor. I recently got the Oculus Rift, which that you have one too.
Yeah, I do.
You have to try my sim because
I do because I have like the flight sim stuff. Like I got like the yoke, the pedals, the throttle, and all that. And I enjoy playing that on my like computer and stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's cool, but like you gotta like move the mouse to like look over it, and it's like I don't know.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was like well, no, like when it was like on
Oh,
the monitor,
yeah.
So it's like you gotta move the mouse, and it's like oh god, and then like you're just looking at the instruments, and you can't like just it's so easy, just like okay, I got freaking airport inside over here.
Yep.
I'm flying my approach and everything. Where it's like yeah, I can just throw the headset on
You're
and
just,
I'm
like,
like
looking around.
and it is the funnest thing.
It's so and you get like depth perception and stuff too.
I like was so much better at like landings and everything as soon as I did like the headset. So
I know I became
off topic, but completely.
Well, no, because it does help. Like with my sim rig. So the first year I went. Started drifting. I was like,
so when did you start drifting actually?
So my first time on a track was I think 2 years ago. 2 years ago. This will be the third year on the track. And the reason I say that is because I started just like on like in parking lots on the street, which I was like, I want to learn how to drift. I was like,
just went and did it.
Yeah, well, it was also COVID, so like there was
on
no
a closed course.
Yeah, it was a very closed course with a very professional driver. But it like the stuff was open, and I don't suggest that at all. Like,
I mean, at least you did it during like when everybody was home. That was
well, because when I first started, like when I first went to my the first Club FR event, it was drift day quarantines were a thing, so there's limited drivers. Oh, okay. So I got way more seat time than I would got.
You just run it all day.
Yeah, it was insane. But yeah, prior to that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna mess around in parking lots and stuff like that, and I'd do like one corner. And I'd be like, oh man, like I'm like that was it.
Yep.
And it's like a second gear, like little entry. But I didn't really know like how to link a corner because like I don't know, I never had the chance to. And then when I went to Club FR, it was just like I told at the skip head, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I need help.
Yeah.
And instantly a lot of good advice. And then when they're like, okay, you can go on the track, I was like,
Oh boy,
like,
this is the big
boy,
leagues.
this is really scary. And it's like a small like track.
Yeah, and I don't know if like Shauna's the only place I've seen like real drifting at. I would imagine that's not very common, like the setup like that up there.
I mean, in the U.S., a lot of drifting is a lot of skid pad stuff, which there's not much to hit on those. And if you go off the course, you're just off on more concrete or maybe off in some grass or
maybe
whatever.
Smack a cone or something.
Exactly, which that does more damage than you think.
I mean, you can look at the front of my 240. You can,
the lack of the front.
The lack of the front end, yeah.
But yeah, that's like a lot of what I see is like big skid pad areas, which I would love to have access to that. Like we were talking about, I just want to do like a really crazy like fourth gear entry with like no repercussions. Or oval tracks. That's what America has. America has oval tracks. NASCAR, circle track racing. That's what we have. So those are the tracks we have access to, and that's why a lot of times you see those high horsepower cars, because to do like banks and stuff like that, you need more horsepower or less grip to do it. So that's like what I see a lot of. If you have access to a skid pad, that's probably like the best way to learn. And that's how I started, is like set up some cones, and then once you can prove you have car control, then it's like, all right, go to the track. But
but I mean, like, I guess like the track up at Shawna, there's the two. There's the intermediate and then the advanced.
Yep.
Yeah. So those get pretty technical.
Yeah, I love it. Like it's so much fun. I want to drive as many tracks as I can. Every time I've like been able to do a different track, I've like felt like I got better as a driver, because like you learn new skill sets. Like when I did in Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Mile, I learned how to like weight transfer at speed, where it's not a clutch kick, not a handbrake, just absolutely flicking the car like at speed and what it does. But at Shawna it is technical, and that's what's really fun about it. You don't need a high horsepower car to have fun. A lot of people say like 300 to 350 horsepower is like, that's like perfect for that track. But if you're less than that, you can do great. You don't need something crazy. And that's kind of neat for us. And that's what I think people don't need to know is like, you don't need 500 horsepower to drift. That's kind of crazy. I mean, your car's a KA. And like there's video of it like doing great.
That was cool. I just like searched that up, and everyone's like, "Oh, I know this car. I've seen this car a ton." Like, okay, those cars known. There's got to be videos of it somewhere.
So now you have to live up to that, though.
I do.
Because now you know what the car can do.
There's a lot of freaking pressure. I mean, I feel like anything I do, everyone's watching me like, "You better not mess that car up. I love that car.
That's crazy.
That's my buddy's car. Don't mess it up." And I'm like, "Oh God."
That's so crazy. It's cool though.
It's super cool. I'm so excited to own that thing.
Yep. So like, I guess to someone who hasn't gone to the track yet, what are some other things that you've been like wondering, or like we've gone over that we can like go over for like the people listening? Because this podcast is kind of like for the people who are just interested in drifting or intrigued in it.
Yeah, I guess so I haven't gone to an event yet. This will be my first time like this summer, like actually driving at an event. I mean, like what should I expect? Like what do I need to bring? Like, is there any things that like, I guess you showed up and like, I should have brought that, and I got to go bug someone
That's
for
a good
it.
Question.
Or,
What I brought with me, I was very, very scared because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
I knew I was driving my car there. I knew I was driving it back.
Yeah.
So I brought like everything.
Sure.
So that's kind of honestly what I've maintained is I haven't really taken much out of my like equipment list of what I bring, because
better be over prepared.
Exactly. So the tools that I bring to the track are actually the same tools that I work on in my garage.
Sure.
So it's like if I can't fix it at the track, I'm not going to fix it at home. Excuse me. So I don't have doubles. That's the other thing too, is like you don't need super expensive tools. Like if you can afford Harbor Freight, get a Harbor Freight. If you can afford better tools, get better tools. They do help. But
I've had good luck with Harbor Freight stuff. I mean,
I'll say the wrenches,
not so
box
good.
end wrenches, I'm not as big a fan
that's
of.
fair. That's
fair. Because I've had them strip some bolts, and then that sucks. But yeah, spare parts. That's the other thing too. Like bring spare parts. You're gonna like
what kind of spare parts do you?
So like a spare moter. Just no, only if you have an RB. But I'm kidding. I love RBs.
Do you?
Also, not the restaurant. Arby's a restaurant? Not so much. RB's and the motor, I like it. I like them. Tie rods. So inner tie rods.
Okay, that's a good point.
Those are good to bring. They're cheap, and if you go off track, which you will go off track, It'll.
It's usually is that usually like the first point of failure for something like that?
For you, S chassis, it's pretty common, especially like the stock ones, because they're little baby kind of thin ones. I don't know what the Maxima ones are like, but
yeah, I don't know.
that's kind of a failure point. Besides that, fluids, you're going to want to bring extra fluids because especially if you haven't driven the car to the track before and driven it really hard, you don't know if it's burning oil or oh shoot, it's like coolant is going somewhere.
I guess that's true. I've driven my car a total of 2 blocks and then on and off of the trailer.
So you should also you should street drive your car as much as you can.
Yeah, I'd like to. I need to get it like street legal because looking more
Giles
into
is big into not registering cars.
Well, okay, all right.
Big crime lord.
Not so much that. Okay, it's more of like it has no turn signals on it. The license plate light is just like
the basic stuff.
Yeah, like the license plate light is kind of sitting there. The wires for the pop-ups just cut.
So you don't have headlights?
They turn on. I just have to manually crank them up and down.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But the one turn signal is just gone. I don't know if the other one works.
Do you have brake lights?
I think so.
Yeah, there we go. There's
it's just like I wanted, I want to drive the car. It's just taking the decal, all the stickers off.
That changed
was
the look.
The first.
That thing looks so clean now.
Because if I would have just taken that car out the way it was, I'd get pulled over like that.
Oh yeah.
There's no way.
Yep. That's a good point. That, but street driving is huge.
Yeah. It also has no climate, AC.
That's fine.
Heat.
That's fine.
It doesn't even have a fan.
That's fine.
Okay.
You'll be fine. Just wear a jacket.
It's got automatic windows though, and sunroof.
Ooh, wow, fancy.
I know.
Well, there's your climate control.
That's basically how my 2G Eclipse was. Had a fan, but AC didn't work, heat didn't work.
So the fan doesn't even work in your 240?
I don't think it's in there at all.
Damn.
There's just it's gone.
Why?
Because I think when they tore everything out to put the cage in it,
just never put it back in.
Yeah, they're saying we don't need that.
Damn. All right.
I don't think there's.
You should get one of those little 12-volt fans so you can get to belong to the.
No, you know how many? Okay, just offshoot here.
What?
You know how many of those freaking little heater things I've had to replace in my lifetime working at an auto parts store? Because people think it's basically just a little window defroster, right? That you plug into your cigarette lighter. Well, people try to friggin' run them as a full heater in their car.
Oh,
this thing sucks. Or burnt out right away. Yeah, because you're trying to heat your friggin' F-250 with a friggin' cigarette lighter. I don't know what you expect.
Oh no, get the little fans that blows cool air on you. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. I want to get one of the ones that shoots water too.
You could do that, or you get the ones that have the LEDs.
Yeah,
you turn on, it says "Don't suck," and
that would actually be really. I actually it's got an old head unit in it. The speakers are hooked up. It looks like everything works.
Oh really?
I want to get a little iPod shuffle or something. Play music on.
Dude, I have a Zune.
Okay, you're one of those guys.
I had a Zune.
I still have it. I'm an Android lover, just like all of us other people who like decent phones.
Yep. I'm gonna get an iPhone.
But iPods are pretty dope.
Yeah, I didn't. The Zune was my first real MP3 player outside of the crappy ones beforehand. Yeah. But dude, that thing's a tank.
Zunes were a unit.
Yeah, it wouldn't break at all.
No, they're dope.
But yeah, well, that'll be a little rough. But you should street drive as much as you can.
I want to, yeah, because I want to drive the car. I want to I'd hate for it to be the only time I drive it is really pushing it. I'd like to.
But that's what happened. Some people only drive their car at the track, so they show up to the track and oh my god, this is wrong.
How did I not see that? It's
exactly.
Because you only drive it here.
Exactly. If you don't street drive it, you're not going to know some little things, or you're not going to get to know the car and be familiar with it and just feel more confident with it.
Yeah. No, the plan is get it street drivable and everything work and reliable enough to do that because I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
And then just have Maggie follow me in the Jeep and then see which one breaks down first, the Jeep or the 240.
Giles loves Jeeps.
Fucking
big Jeep
Jeeps.
Guy. Yeah, that's, I don't know, get to know your car. That's the other thing people don't do.
It's just, it's kind of poopy outside.
I know, it sucks.
Decides to go 50 degrees to raining ice.
Yeah.
So, that's fun.
As far as other spare parts, tools are good, jack.
Yeah.
The basic stuff to get your car in the air to change wheels.
How many, okay, 240.
Yep.
KA.
Yep.
How many tires should I bring?
It's probably more of a matter of what can you fit in there.
Okay. Well, there's no interior, so there's that.
Yeah, in my IS, which
you packed so much shit in that car. I was amazed.
Yeah,
we showed up and we're like, hey, yeah, we'll help you pack up for the day. I was like,
Yeah.
did he bring another vehicle or like, because like you're all set up. I was
There's a lot of
like,
stuff.
there's like 6 wheels here. It's a whole toolbox, jacks.
Dude,
like
the table is the frickin' move though.
the table.
The little collapsible table.
That's okay.
Dude, first this year.
Big note. Bring table.
Get a little foldable table.
Okay.
Go to Walmart, get the cheap one. The first event I went to this year, I had this table, and I was pretty proud of like, damn, this is a move because I can set my toolbox up here and like set drinks and stuff on there. And John Kim came by. He's like, table. He's like, what an upgrade. I was like, this is a life changer. Like, it is so good. And it lays flat. So the other cool thing with the table is on your 240 where the spare tire goes, I'm assuming you don't have like the spare tire cover thing, like the in that
it's
hatch.
just the pit of despair.
So you can put a wheel and tire there and then put the table over it.
More wheel.
Oh, you have a hatch too. You can actually, I forgot, you can fit a lot of stuff in the hatch. So in the IS, I could fit, I think it was 8 wheels and tires in the back seat.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was stupid. But I wouldn't go through those. I always brought all of them because I was like...
Just in case, yeah.
I was like, I don't want to stop driving because of tires. I would say, I don't know, like 4 or 6, if you can fit them. But whatever you can fit is kind of what I go with.
Kind of plan for the worst.
If you don't use them, you don't use them. You just bring them next time. Sure. You're not going to go through a crazy amount though.
Yeah.
With a KA, and if you're driving right, so you're not doing burnouts through the whole track. You're driving as fast as you can. You're not going to be just sitting there smoking the tires. So they'll last a lot longer.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, that'll be
That was
nice.
another thing too. Is oh my god, you must go through so many freaking tires like doing this.
Before I forget about tires, staring at the cameras.
I think that one only can see me.
Okay, that one can see me. Don't buy used crappy tires.
Why?
Be like, I'm gonna go drifting because I don't need grip. Those used takeoffs, whatever. That's where everyone seems to start, and they quickly realize it's actually cheaper per lap to buy some halfway decent tires.
Sure.
So
what kind of tires do you recommend?
Obviously
you don't want something like too grippy, right?
Well, yeah. So as you get better, you're gonna I'd say better. As you get more familiar with the car, you're going to want to add grip because it allows you to do different things with the car. I would say a good all season that caters more towards summer driving or something like that. Fine to start with. Sure. There's we could probably do a whole little thing on recommended drift tires, but Kenda's KR20s are kind of unobtainium right now, but those I loved at the end of last year. But Google it. There's so many out there, and you can run a smaller tire size to start with, so it's easier for you to get the back end out and then to feel what the car or how the car feels.
Probably just kind of dial it in, right?
Exactly,
and then feel of it, what you like, what you don't like.
Exactly. Then you can air down a little bit, and then once you get to the point where you don't want to air down too much because you don't want it to be debead, then you can go up in a tire size. Sure. So I started with 215s, and then I moved it up to 225s, and between tire manufacturers, a 225 could be someone else's 235. Excuse me, they need to get that stuff figured out. It's ridiculous. But yeah, you can always add grip, take grip away.
Cool.
So tire pressures, play with that.
I would imagine a little air compressor you bring with them.
Yeah, so I have
12-volt ones.
Yep, I have a little 12-volt thing. That's really nice to have. The track has one, but it's nice just to be able to let your car and plug it in and do that. Honestly, it's nice too to have spare wheel studs and lug nuts.
Yeah, I actually saw that last year too. A guy was going through some wheel studs quite a bit.
You shouldn't be going through them.
Yeah, well,
that
the
much.
car was kind of.
Yeah.
I think it was the same car that grenaded its transmission at some point. So.
Oh, yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, that was
a crazy sound.
They empty the bar out at night and they go
all the
take,
glass,
the freaking glass to the dumpster. I literally was like, who's throwing glass? And I looked and I just saw parts just scattered across the track.
I thought someone hit someone else.
Yeah.
And their windshield or back window shattered. And I was like, oh my God. So I look, and over the radio call, I think it was Ryan. He goes, I think someone just someone's engine just exploded.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too.
Oh my God. And I was like, there's gonna be oil all over the tracks. It's gonna start to clean up. No oil. It was easy peasy. They just swept the flywheel up, and it was good to go.
That was crazy. I remember because I was doing drone footage, and I heard that, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
am I in danger?
You were in
because like
drone
I
mode.
was like
you were.
I was like fully immersed. I'm like, am I in danger? And I had the spotter guy next to me. He was also flying. He's like, oh no, it looks like someone just grenaded their transmission. I was like, it literally sounded like someone threw glass. Like that was insane.
Yeah, yeah. And with you, like I mean, this isn't a new car.
No.
So you don't know the gremlins that are just gonna have little idiosyncrasies that it's gonna have. So
yeah, I'm fully like I know the car has been driven a lot.
I think it's proven. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was one of the reasons.
And it's not worn out. It's
I was comfortable with buying it. The dude's like, yeah, I built it like 8 years ago. Like, it was my go-to car. I got multiple other cars that I drive now.
Yep.
But like, I've always loved the car. I think he like sold it to a buddy of his that he drove with, and then the buddy was like, okay, I'm ready for something else. You know, I think he was moving up to like maybe like a turbo platform or something like that, and he sold it back to the guy. And then at the time, Dan is his name. He's got like a bunch of like 86s, like Corollas and stuff, and like 2J swaps and all these like crazy things. Like, I don't really want another 240, and I like my 86s, and that's how I ended up with it. But like, yeah, it was like I saw the videos, and he's like, yeah, this is my go-to car. I really like driving it.
And that was where I was like, okay, that gives me a vote of confidence because it's been driven a lot. It's simple. You can tell he put some thought into it when he built like.
Because I remember what we looked at specifically. It was like, what are the parts? Like, how is it set up?
Yeah.
And like I showed you the parts list. So you're like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah, it was good. Like I was like, okay, this guy knew what he was doing. I mean, if you're starting out too, if you can find someone that does help. Yeah. But the other thing too is like I don't want to be like the mama bird and be like, Joe, let's do this, this, and this. I want to let you fly a little bit. I'm gonna let you fall out of the nest.
Oh no.
So you like.
Does that mean I have to hit a fence too?
You don't have. God, that's got to die. Oh. You don't have to hit a fence, but
okay, good.
It helps.
I was gonna say you drove really good the rest of the day.
I was pissed. I was really not happy.
You played it off really good.
Well, I was like, I don't know. That's the other thing too. Bring a good attitude. Like,
yeah, I feel like it's really easy to like just get super in your head and like just get super pissed about it. I kind of like snowboarding and stuff. I really like doing that, and I'd like fall and like hurt myself. I'd be so pissed.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's like, dude, remember you're having a good time. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then like you do better. Like it's all mental thing, I feel like.
One thing I will say that does help too, get a GoPro, put it in your car, like facing onto the windshield so you can see yourself, and don't do it for the internet clout, but it's good to GoPro yourself and watch yourself and be like, I suck. Yeah. Like, what am I doing with my, like, you're like, what's his nuts? With Ricky Bobby, like I don't do my hands, and you're like grabbing everything.
Trying to grab everything.
Yeah, and it's like you look at your hands on the wheel and see what you're doing. You can see your footwork. But what I thought was funny is my first year, I was like, I'm gonna GoPro this and like watch, like review it like game film, and I'd spin out. And to this day, I am nervous as hell on grid. Like the first time, like I'm just like I don't know what I'm doing. Like oh my god, oh my god. But once you spin out the first time, it's like, okay, we're good. Like you're gonna
survived.
Spin. Yeah, you're fine. But before I spin out, I'd be like shit. And now when I spin out, I'm like giggling. I'm like that sucks.
Idiot,
like,
stupid,
dummy, stupid. But no, you bring a good attitude, and like you got to be able to laugh at yourself. Is the other thing too.
Yeah.
Like if you're out there to like win competitions, like that's fine. It can be competitive.
Yeah, you're not gonna learn. You're not gonna just go out there and do it right away. Like if you're lucky, but
you should be out there doing it for yourself, not to like get social media followers and do all this. Like you just want to just have fun. Right. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, that's why I got a lot of like messages and stuff too. It's like, Joe, why did you go with that car? You could have like probably went and bought something. First of all, no, I'm not. I'm broke.
I think your followers think that you're like super wealthy.
I know. It's like. That's not, no. I had to move a lot of finances around to go buy a 30-year-old car, okay? I had to sell the FRS. I had to go get a new daily. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
There was a lot of moves being made.
But yeah, no, it was like, yeah, I didn't really care, like, honestly, if the car was like pristine. Obviously, I didn't want something pristine. I wanted something that like I wasn't going to be afraid to go drive.
But you wanted something that was cool.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing is like, don't show up with a battle bot. Like, I mean, if you do, it's fine. Yeah. But like, I firmly believe, and I said this in one of our videos before, like you need to take pride in your drift car, and your drift car is a reflection of you. Yeah. Like when you're on grid and someone sees your car, like that's what they're gonna think about you. Right. And if you got no taillights and your stuff's all disheveled, it's like, oh,
watch out for that guy.
That's like in traffic. You see someone with like a big dent in their car, like they
You're
suck.
like, okay, I don't want to park next to you. I'm gonna stay away from you.
Yeah.
If you're turning, I'm gonna wait till you turn. Yeah.
But it's also like drifting is very much stylistic. So you weren't just like, I want whatever, I don't care. Like you ended up with a cool car, and you will take pride in having that cool car.
I'm so excited to just like start getting that thing like back to its glory. You know.
Oh, and it's not far away.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, it needs maybe some new side skirts, suspenders, bumper.
Are weird.
They're S14 seats, so yeah.
You're gonna fly all over in that car.
I know.
You're gonna need to
I need some new seats.
Yeah, you're gonna need to get a bucket.
I know.
Like, I'd fly around way more, but because I got nothing like keep me planted in the seat. You have some more mass. Yeah, you got more, so when you do move, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot to stop me.
Oh God, you have a cage. You'll be contained. In
I'll
your
just
car.
smack my head on the cage real quick. I know. I'm really excited to work on the car and just kind of really make it my own. That's why I was like, I felt bad. I'm like, dude, this thing's so cool. Like it's got a history to it. I was looking at all like the stickers and stuff. Like, obviously, someone been on there for a long time because it was a real bitch to get off.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh man, I'm kind of like taking the character away from me. You know, it's like this thing's been in this, but at the same time, it's like I'm starting my own story with this car. Like I want it to be mine. You know? So
100%. And the other thing, we look at your car and look at the parts, but buy parts that are as good as you can afford is the other thing too. Like tires, I was like, don't buy used takeoff tires or whatever, because also guys will show up and they have a different tire on one side of the car than the other, and they're like different tread patterns, and I'm like, how do you learn? There's no consistency. Like that's
that's a good point.
Like that would, I've done it a couple times because I had like a tire shred or whatever, so I had two different tires, and I was like, whoa,
it's gotta feel weird. Yeah.
It is weird. But yeah, buy what you can within your means, because like you're driving hard. Like this is the dumbest thing to do with a car, and stuff breaks. So like, you want to get good parts, because the other thing too is like, if you have a control arm snap, like that's a safety hazard. Like you don't really want to have that happen.
Lose control of the whole thing.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
That's the other thing too.
Bolt check.
Oh, yeah. So your prep before you go to your like first event, like all right.
Okay, so I got the car.
You got the car.
All right, I got my stuff.
Yep.
Got the car loaded up. Got my nice little helmet on.
Do you have a helmet?
No, not yet.
You should get a helmet.
I need to get a helmet, yeah.
That would be good.
I was just thinking rocking no helmet this year.
You're going to need a helmet.
Oh. So I'm there.
You got your stuff, you got your tools all set?
No, I'm about ready. It's like the night before.
About ready to go. So bolt check is big. Okay. Do that.
Any like main points? Just everything? Or is there
everything.
Like, you have like a checklist that you go through?
I pretty much...
You like pre-flight your car?
I have like a ritual where it's like the night before.
Light some candles, draw shades.
Candles. I get some like incense burning. I sacrifice a goat. That's a weird part.
I really want to get away from that part.
No, it's
running on a goat.
Worse. When I hit the fence, I didn't use a goat. It was
There it is.
So you got all that done. Bolt check is huge, and I'm not gonna lie, like. I have found loose bolts like multiple times, which not where it's like finger tight, like it's about to fall off.
You're like, that went a little more than I thought.
If you know torque specs, torque stuff to spec. Sure. But yeah, basically what I'll do is jack the front of the car up and go through every bolt with the suspension and steering components, making sure it's tight, and then jack the rear up. Same thing. If you have adjustable arms, make sure they're not self-adjusting. Like make sure they're tight. That's the other thing too, because on a drift car there's a lot of adjustable arms, and you can get some weird stuff going on. I had I was at the track, and I would hit the brake, and there'd be a clunking sound, and it's like, man, what is that? And one of my friends took a look, and I couldn't find anything that was loose. And when my friends took a look, and he's like, oh, I think it's your brake pedal is slightly like loose or making contact with the footwell, and that's what it is. I'm like, that doesn't seem like it. But I was like, all right. So I kept driving, got home, and got the car up in the air. I don't know how it didn't, like, how it wasn't at the track. Like, it was just tight enough where, like, you just put the wrench on, it wasn't doing anything. But my tension arm was very loose. So, like, luckily it wasn't, like, going in or out. It was the Heim joint could, like, move kind of freely. So it was, like, the arm, the Heim joint was clunking against the subframe. And that's why the whole car could feel it. So it was like, that's it. But yeah, and if you hear something, just stop, pull off, check it, watch your temps, like basic stuff. Like this isn't, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, but like once you get on the track and you do your first couple of runs, it's like panic mode. You're like, whoa, like what's happening?
Well, I found a cool switch that turns fans on and off.
That's important. Keep
That's
that
pretty
on.
neat.
Yeah, you have electric fans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
that.
poor Hannah, like we went up there last year, she just had like the regular like clutch fan or whatever, and that thing had seen some days, and the poor thing just kept like, she'd like go out on this skid bed and be like, every third attempt, the freaking clutch fan just go flying off somewhere.
I was like,
oh,
I was like, where is she? Like, what's going on? And then, is she still here?
No, I don't think she's here today.
Oops. Oh, I'm sitting on the microphone. She was talking to me about getting electric fans. I was like, clutch fan, like if you can run a clutch fan, like just buy another shroud, like because the clutch fan, you never forget to turn it on or off, and like it works really well. But yeah, don't forget to turn your fans on. Do you have hood pins or a hood? Like, how does your hood close? Just normal?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, otherwise I'm like, yeah, make sure it latches on. It's always funny when someone's car's like, it's like, I can't see shit.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
Love when that happens.
Not to be that guy.
Oh yeah. Also, there's like no like struts. Like the whole hood will just go all the way back anyway. So.
Oh, it's a Honda mod.
Yeah, it's Honda. Yeah, it's got like the hood risers on it.
Sick. So you're at your event. You're having fun.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. Just have fun. Yeah. And if you get tired, stop drifting. Like for the day.
Okay. No,
chill.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's.
I was to say, do you usually drive like the whole day, or do you kind of get to a point you're like, all right, I'm just gonna go watch?
I want to drive as much. Well, like when I'm there, I want to drive as much as I can, and there's a strategy.
Okay. All right. Cheat codes.
So in the morning,
yes,
a lot of people will go ham, which is hard as a motherfucker.
Oh.
For those who don't know what that means.
I thought people just really liked ham.
They go beef mode.
Beef mode. Okay. All right.
So they go crazy and they go through a lot of tires.
Yeah.
Afternoon sessions, you go a little quieter. So if you save some tires for the afternoon,
you can go harder.
You can get more laps in. The other thing is people we usually stuff breaks right away in the morning versus the afternoon. So the morning can be a little bit hectic sometimes, but especially early in the season.
It's like the proving point of like, all right, whose stuff's gonna last today? What's gonna break? Who's actually gonna? Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much. So yeah, I usually go hard in the afternoon. The other thing too is when the afternoon clears out, you can hot lap.
Yeah.
So somebody's gonna have to wait in line.
Sure.
So that's kind of fun too. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be good. You'll get out there. What did Casey write on this board for us too? Oh. He's talking about real drifting to street drifting to takeovers. So I think what he wants us to talk about a little bit is what is real drifting.
Yeah, what's real drifting?
So
teach me.
All right. Where do I want to go here? So to me, there's no definition.
Touchy subject. No, I'm just kidding.
There's no definition of drifting.
No, because I think you kind of were talking about before. You got like the different styles, right? You got like kind of what we've adapted to over here.
And you'll have your preferences.
Yeah, and it's like some people really like that. They like the high horsepower. They like the big smoke. They like the crazy cars. And then I know for you, for instance, you really like the grassroots, like Japanese style, like kind of lower horsepower, stylistic style of drifting, which I think is really cool too. But I like both. It's
kind of a blend of both. I think that the big thing is drifting can be whatever you want it to be in a way, because it's not boxed in, which makes it so good. But if you're have a lack of grip and you're going sideways to even a small degree, you don't have to be totally sideways, through corners and linking corners, there you go. Yep. You got drifting. Now, I think the whole debate of if you have to do it at the track, on the street, or takeovers, old takeover thing is its own thing. Holy cow, those they can have their Chargers and Challengers and doing whatever is going on. That's crazy. Probably some good drivers, to be honest, doing those.
Well, you've seen the videos.
Yeah, and spectators, scary. Yeah. Dude, it's going to be most dangerous motorsports is Group B rally and then takeovers. It's how it's going to work. But the whole street versus track thing, I mean, drifting started on the streets.
It did.
That's where it came from, and a lot of guys still do it on the streets is still very much a thing. But the track is that's where you're going to want to get better at. The streets are scary because there's curbs and potholes and cars.
It's not like a kept
cops.
up surface. Like, there's other things out there.
Yeah,
There's
like
inconsistencies.
Very high risk, and if you're just starting out, like, it ain't worth it. And the track is where you get your seat time. Like, that's the thing, is where you get your consistency in your seat time.
So, I mean, I don't know, too, like, do you think this is going to be something that's, like, just kind of strictly just going to be a hobby? Do you have aspirations to get into, like, competitive side of things?
I really, like, this year, my biggest goal is to tandem as much as I can.
Oh,
so
okay.
That
terrifies me.
Yeah, it's. I'll be honest.
As soon as you throw another card in the mix, I'm like, maybe I'll come around to it. But I'm like, oh god.
It really scared me before, and then I started like hitting stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this isn't like whatever. I can fix it.
Wreck your car once, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is like, if I can get the skill set to fix my car myself, it's less daunting. Because
I was gonna say, you picked up a lot of skill sets this last.
When you suck at
Sam's like,
things,
yep, I gotta like repaint my whole car.
Yep.
I was like, damn. He's like, yeah, I did it. It turned out horrible, but I'm gonna redo it.
Yeah.
The doors turned out amazing. Fender, not so much.
All the way around.
Oh, fenders turned out good.
Fenders were good.
Doors didn't turn out
were
that great.
Bad. But we're gonna redo it. I'll get better at it. Like everything, you get better the more you do it. But yeah, I really want to tandem a lot more, because that's to me like where I want to go next. And not like, oh, I need to do battles and competitions. Like, I think it'd be fun to do it because I'm a competitive person.
It's just a new skill set to.
Yeah, I just like, that's what I really want to do next. And this whole winter on a settled course on the sim, I've been doing so much tandem stuff in the sim. I'm just like, I just want to do this in real life. Like, I just want to try this with like the Oculus has made it so much different. Like, it'll be cool talking about this in a couple months once like we've been out there and drifting it. But that's my big thing. I don't want to become like a pro drifter and make that my livelihood. Yeah, it's my hobby. It's my escape, and like just doing stuff like that.
Something to have fun with.
Yeah, it's a distraction. It's a way to get more depressed by spending all your money on something.
Well, I can't wait to hop by Sam's paint shop at 3 a.m. again in the summer.
I'm hopefully not going to do that again. At least I'll be painting in the spring.
I just remember like it'd be like the Monday morning, like Sam's just rolling in. It's just like he's got like a Bang energy, and like just like popped a couple Excedrin, and he's like, I'm like, what did you have? Like you hung over? He's like, no, I was working on the car till like 2 a.m.
Dude, it was so hot.
It was so hot. It was like 100 degrees, like 90% humidity.
Dude,
like,
I'd take my like mask, my respirator off, and it was like Aquaman like in there. It was just like all watery sweat. I was like,
gross.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. I will never forget that. Hopefully, I don't have to repeat that again. But I don't know. Whatever.
You're probably gonna have to.
So, is there anything else we should go over? I'm trying to look at this little board. I think it's pretty basic. Like, this isn't complicated. Just get the right attitude. Get a car that'll work. Don't try to be crazy and be like, I'm going to drift this thing that's never been drifted before. Like, unless you're experienced, like, I probably wouldn't suggest that.
Yeah.
And just go do the thing. That's the biggest thing. Accept failure. Like, get back up on that horse when it kicks you off, and just keep at it.
Hell yeah.
That's simple. That's how you should just do stuff in life. Things will suck, but they'll get better. Just get it back on that horse.
Just deal with it.
Yeah. Just deal with it. That's our motto. Just deal with it.
Cool. Well, I mean, I learned something.
I'm glad. You learned a lot this summer.
I'm really excited for this summer. I'm really excited to really just start even like driving the car and getting it put back together and just experiencing a new platform. Like, I've never owned a car from really that.
Yeah.
The only other car I've had was my 98 Eclipse, but even that was an entirely different animal.
So 240s are easy.
Yeah,
like
I was really shocked like at how easy that was to just
everything
do
was
anything.
accessible.
Yeah,
it's just like
I popped the side skirts off. I was able to get the jack under there, and I was like, damn. I thought this was gonna be like a 2-hour ordeal, and it took me like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and there's just room.
We swapped out the coils in Anna's 240, and we had the whole thing done in like 5 minutes.
That was way easier than a STI.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
That
I
sucked.
think there's video reference of that.
Yeah, if anyone wants to watch that, go watch it.
You can see the progression of like the 5 days that it took to freaking.
Also, it was like 300 degrees.
It was so hot.
I remember I had a white artisan shirt at the time, and I laid on the ground.
Yeah.
It was like my favorite part of the whole thing though was when I had the breaker bar and I was just yanking on that bolt, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm like worried this thing's gonna like lift off the lift or whatever. And I was like, gels, it won't come loose. And then Josh hard cuts you with a torch. Just like,
Oh, yeah. I just decided to torch every bolt.
if it's
on
liquid,
there.
it can't be tight.
Exactly. Cool.
Cool.
Well, anything
I think
else?
we can call her.
Call her?
I'm good, unless there's anything else you want to do.
No, I think you're good. So, if you guys are looking at getting into the hobby stuff, just, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, just do some research. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You know,
Yeah.
there's plenty of people out there. Go to an event. Go ask people questions.
Shoot us a message.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
shoot
yeah.
us a message too. Shoot Sam a message. He loves responding to comments and messages.
I do. I really enjoy
Give
it.
him a follow too. He posts a lot of cool shit on Instagram, and
No, it's not. It's not cool.
it's really good. It's a lot cooler than my stuff. My stuff's just all in my garage.
Yeah, that's what I should start doing.
Yeah,
It'd be
you got
cooler.
photos like flipping people off while you're like sideways. I've never taken a photo like
Yeah,
that.
you gotta have a tude when you're drinking.
Dude, big bubble shield,
Oh, yeah, cool helmet.
My
That's
favorite
another
helmet.
thing. Cool helmet.
cool helmet.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't bought one yet. I'm like, I haven't found the one.
You can paint it. That's what I'm
I
gonna
don't
do.
know what my vibe's gonna be.
Mm,
I'm gonna get a mohawk one.
no, don't do that. I know someone that already has that taken, so we'll figure it out. We'll talk off camera.
Okay, we'll figure it out. So I'm gonna go figure out my helmet specs for this next year. If you guys in the meantime have any questions on anything, shoot us a message, or of course leave a comment down below. Don't forget, you know, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you
We
follow
sell
us-
wheels too.
Yeah, sell
You
wheels.
can buy these. They're
That's-
really lightweight.
I'll be running our wheels.
Same.
Shocker. I know it's like we kind of like built them for it, so we're gonna go make sure to use them. That's
and
I'm
abuse
excited
them.
about that too, yeah.
These are gonna get like the proof is in the pudding,
Yeah.
and like we're gonna be in the pudding.
Yeah, they're big pudding.
All right, someone's getting wild in the parking lot.
Yeah, so that's my cue. So yeah, you can check out wheels over at AnoviaWheels.com. Pack some tires with them as well, so you don't even have to worry about finding a tire shop to mount yourself. We'll do it for you.
Easy peasy.
And yeah, go follow our other socials, and of course, you know, if you're listening to this wherever it is, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a review. I think that's a thing on Spotify
Yeah,
or something like
it
that.
is.
So
Share
hey,
with your
guys,
friends.
Yeah, share with your friends. We like to get some more people on here, and I really enjoy doing this. It's one of my favorite
It's
parts
fun.
of the week. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next one.